everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and I want to discuss an issue that I see as the critical issue in the aftermath of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Uh, there is now a suspect who is, they're pretty sure is the guy who did it, who used a shot. It was like a sniper from a roof. They say they don't think he was a professional sniper, just someone who could shoot a deer from a good distance. That since Charlie got shot in the neck, the chances are that he wasn't aiming for the carotid artery, although that's what it hit, that probably shooting for the head or body and moved just a slight bit. And sadly, it did the job anyway. So this guy, they're looking for this guy. There's a large reward. I think it's $100,000 now to catch this guy, because clearly this is a psychopath. And this psychopath decided it amused him. It thrilled him to kill this man. Why? Well, it's hard to say. It could be that he didn't like what he was saying. It could be that he wanted to be infamous. He wanted his day in the sun. It could be just a psychopath who was looking for a thrill. So we don't really know, and we'll never really exactly know why he did what he did. But on the other hand, I know exactly what's happening over here. After this brutal murder of Charlie Kirk, we've got a good portion of our nation, the United States, cheering and celebrating. This guy's singing out, "We got Charlie in the neck," and hoo hoo, and everybody's singing with him. There are incredible amounts of comments, videos on X, on Facebook, on TikTok, Instagram, cheering this guy and saying, "Ha ha, we're so happy you're dead, Charlie Kirk." Why are they so happy Charlie Kirk is dead? Simply because they didn't agree with his thinking. This is a man who had definite opinions, definite philosophy. What he believed in free speech, discussion, and debate, something the U.S. is supposed to be totally in sync with. That you can instead of killing each other, you actually talk and you learn from each other. And yes, maybe if you're a better debater, you might have more influence. And he seemed to get a relative amount of influence because he is a good debater. But whether you agree with him or not, he was not unwilling to hear the other side, in the concept that the more we talk, the more we can eventually come to work together to improve things. And somebody shot him dead. One psychopath, well, there's always one psychopath rolling around who will do such a thing. Remember Luigi Mangione? Remember that guy who allegedly, because he hasn't been taken to trial yet, killed Brian Thompson, shot Brian Thompson down. The CEO of United Healthcare shot him down in New York in cold blood. Now, why did Luigi Mangione do that? I don't know. I can't even find any good information that he really had any issues with the insurance system. And he was wealthy as heck. So why did he do it? Again, maybe for thrills. Maybe because he wanted to be a hero. Maybe this guy wants to be a hero in his own mind and thinks, oh, people will appreciate what he did, which apparently is true. And Luigi Mangione, he's got a fan club. People wanting him to be freed. Free Luigi, free Luigi. Why? Because they don't like United Healthcare and the CEO of such a business. Now, I don't like United Healthcare either. I personally think our insurance system is egregious. I call them insurance cartels. However, they are legal within the United States of America. And being a CEO is a legal position. Now, mind you, he made a lot of money, Brian Thompson, a ton of money being CEO. While he ran an organization that robbed us all blind, refuses to pay for our bills. I think he's his behavior is quite criminal, although not legally criminal. However, I did not cheer when I heard he was killed, I was appalled, not because I liked what he represented, but because it's cold blood to kill somebody. It's a horrific crime. And it's not the way we do things because we disagree. We should have a debate on health insurance and the insurance that methodologies that we use today. This should be a huge issue, which it is a huge issue, but I don't think it's being dealt with hard enough. I think we need to really push to change the entire insurance system. That's where we have debate and discussion. We hear the viewpoints on all around, not just both sides, but all around, because there's actually not just sides, but differing opinions depending on little pockets of where we are at. That's what I wanted to happen. Shooting down Brian Thompson didn't do a damn thing except kill this man, hurt his family, and they'll put another CEO in his place. I mean, that's what you're going to cheer. You're going to cheer assassination of people because you don't like what they represent. And I didn't like what Brian Thompson represented, but still, I would never cheer for what happened to him or the fact that it happened at all. I don't care whether you like, well, if you like Charlie Kirk, obviously you're going to be terribly upset. But if you didn't like this man and his opinions, you should still be absolutely appalled that someone would kill him for those opinions. For he was willing to sit there and talk to people, have discussions. Free speech that everybody in the United States should love. And if you're cheering that he's been killed because he had those opinions, because he was influencing people, then you might be the problem. You might be more psychopathic than this guy. We might have a nation where we have an increasing level of psychopathy. People without any empathy, people who think it's all about me, narcissism. It's like, well, only I matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. Your way of life doesn't matter. What you want doesn't matter. It's only what matters to me. Therefore, if you don't agree with me, then I don't like you. As a matter of fact, not only do I not like you, but I think you don't even deserve to live. I don't care what happens to you. And this has been a growing problem in the United States. We have young people growing up very disaffected and not having any kind of empathy for their fellow students, their parents, their communities. And this is what it turns into: assassinations, mass murders in the schools, carjackings, just brutal crimes just for the sake of the brutal crime, because we don't give a crap. We don't care about anybody else. And I do believe it's a growing problem. And we're seeing this assassination, the assassination attempt on President Trump as well, and the assassination of Brian Thompson. We're seeing this happening over and over again. And there are countries where, because so many people are disaffected through war, through cartels, through gangs, that there were what do you want to call it? Extreme growth of psychopathy. And then when you live in those countries, you're scared to speak out because you'll be killed. You're scared to be a journalist because you'll be shot down. You're scared to join the police force because the police force is going to be it's in the eyesight, somebody who's going to kill you with their gun that they have illegally, but doesn't matter. So the people are afraid to run for office in certain countries, because as soon as you run for office and you go out there, like he wasn't even running for office, but President Trump was. He gets out there to speak to the citizens, and somebody shoots him. He was amazing. He didn't get killed. But I've seen too many countries where you see that person running for office, and all of a sudden there is no opposition party anymore because that person's dead. Now, whether it was ordered by the cartels or by just the opposing political party, because that's the way you get rid of your competition, instead of getting rid of your competition through having a better argument, offering a better solution. If you don't like Charlie Kirk, fine. Offer a better argument. and they have more influence than him. Now you have all that freedom in this country. You don't kill somebody because, well, they're winning the argument. You don't kill a political person because they're winning the argument. And this is what a lot of countries are dealing with. The continuous murder of journalists, politicians, police. And if the United States goes down that road, which it seems to me we're doing, we're in a lot of trouble. And the only way we can get to the point where we have to be so fearful of speaking our minds, running for office, being in law enforcement, even just being a guy is not even running for office, just a guy who is has a viewpoint, is reaching out to the public. Can't even do that without being murdered. If that keeps going on, then we're going to be a very fearful population. We're going to be terrified to step out of our own houses. And why? Because our own neighbors, our own citizens in our town have this kind of attitude. If we don't like you, we want the worst for you. We hate you. We don't care if you die. We don't care if somebody makes you dead. We're okay with that. That's psychopathy. So when you're looking at this guy and saying, what a psychopath, if you're this guy, you should be looking in that mirror saying, man, I might be a psychopath too. And if you're raising kids who think like this, college students who think like this, anybody out there who's thinking like this, that's a severe mental health problem. And psychopathy can't really be fixed. So you got to start young. You got to start having decent families, decent communities, raising children with love and affection. And also, actually believing that other people have rights too. Right to be who they are, right to think whatever. That's okay. It's okay to do that. But we also, along with understanding people and having empathy and rights, we also have to have a decent environment, which means we have to protect our children. We have to protect our children from a lot of stuff that's been going on in our school systems, protect our children from pornography, all that kind of stuff that's just mess. And some of the stuff that's going on social media, obviously, social media with gaming and all that kind of stuff. There's always the good part of it, and then there's the bad part of it. And as a parent, you have to make sure that they just get the good part of it, if there is a good part of it. Sometimes there's no good part of it, but there are some things which are okay to this level, but not okay to this level. And you have to be parents. We have to be teachers. We have to be caring of our community. We have to be there for our children, or they grow up to be that kind of person who cheers on the murder of this man. And the more we get of this, the more children that grow up to shoot up the schools. There's the guy that just shot up the Colorado school. They're saying he was radicalized. What do you mean radicalized? By whom? They're not saying it. But the point being is where he's a psychopath. But why is he a psychopath? He didn't just turn into a psychopath overnight. He's been growing up in a society with a family and community and whatever else is around him that is teaching him to be a psychopath from very young, to not care about other human beings and think they don't deserve anything because he's the only one that matters. And if you don't pay enough attention to him, he'll make sure you do. And not in a way that's acceptable. Charlie Kirk wanted people to pay attention to him because he wanted to impart a viewpoint. He wanted what he believed was an improvement. He wanted to improve society. Now, you can disagree whether he was doing that or not, but that doesn't matter. He did it in a legal manner and in a pretty nice manner, in the fact that he was willing to debate and discuss whether you agree with him or not. And there are many organizations around who will have differing opinions from him that will also discuss and debate. And that's a good thing. At least it used to be a good thing. But if we take that away, if we take away our ability to both have empathy and be able to feel other people have empathy toward us, so that we can discuss things and still be friends. We can have differing political opinions and still be friends. We can think different ways. We might even want to enact different laws because we might think, I don't agree with that, so I'd rather the law go this way than that way. That's fine. We can discuss that. Are you for the death penalty or not for the death penalty? things like that. You can discuss these things without killing each other. Can't you? I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder, how many psychopaths do we have in our society? Is this the problem, or is this the problem? Anyway, those are my thoughts. I would wish that please do not put political comments in the comment area below. I will try to block as many as I can. This is not a political channel. I don't wish to have political opinions here. I'm discussing human beings. I'm discussing empathy. I'm discussing what we need to be as a society, which is not psychopaths. So those are my thoughts. Again, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe, and do put good comments below. I do appreciate those. Thank you very much.